It's time for the Loco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj.
Hey, Loco sports fans. We got the whole gang here on a Friday night, plus friends in the green room, bonus friends in the green room. We got a whole host of friends in the green room. Going to be a great night, great show tonight. I'm exhausted, running on fumes from a very long week and up early tomorrow. So we won't keep you up too late tonight. We'll try to get in and out of here, but we do have some news to dispense with and just some updates to make on what's been happening around the Loco, as well as some friends to talk to about Special Olympics tonight, because yesterday was the big track meet over at May River, and we have some friends in the green room who were there, either volunteering, covering the event, or participating. All three, one of each. We got Ray Alonso, Marcus Walsh, and Jeff Riley going to join us here in a few minutes to talk about what went down over there, and I'm sure a lot of other things, sports related and otherwise. We'll definitely be talking about our sad brackets and how they're going, I'm sure, along the way a little bit, but we won't delve too deep into that because we have a lot of local ground to cover.
We don't need to
And
do that.
because no one cares. Like I mean, they care like in passing, but that's about it. But Wes, you were on the scene. You're still bundled up because you just came in hot from the nest where it was Dougie Sheeran night,
Yeah, it was.
which I love that. Unfortunately for the Seahawks, May River, Misa be spoiling the night for Dougie
Yeah.
and the boys in blue.
Oh man, just great to honor Dougie. Oh man, what a great man he was, and he meant so much to that soccer program over at Hilton Head High, and is missed by so many who just passed away last year around October. So we miss him, and it was a great way to honor him by just being part of the soccer game. And a terrific match, terrific match. Hilton had started off slow in that first half, and what doomed them, in my opinion. Couldn't get really much going in terms of their flow out there, and May River liked what I saw from not just their attack, but the defense really was the difference in this match. They were able to really defend well against Hilton Head. The Seahawks did get a couple prime opportunities and set pieces throughout, but not much, especially early. Maver's defense really delivered in that first half. Hilton Head was able to pick it up in the second half a bit, but they clawed within one. They were scored late to ice it away in a 3-1 win, but terrific soccer match. Two really strong teams. But the Sharks looked a little bit crisper early. Hilton Head kind of took a while to find their game, and that's what really, delivered the difference in the match here tonight. Is the Seahawks fell short, but terrific match, and I think both these teams are going to be right in the thick of it. It's going to be interesting because Bishop England, we're seeing that they are right now the front runners in this region, but
Right.
that was a solid showing there from the Sharks here tonight, and Hilton had fought back, and they had a couple of really good looks late. Maver's goalie made a terrific save with like 8 minutes left, which would have tied the game if it went in. So Maver's defense and goalie made a big save down the stretch as well. They're able to continue Hilton Head just enough to thwart the comeback effort, but Hilton Head, they're going to fight you. They're going to battle you every night, and they played like Dougie would want them to play tonight, and it was certainly a respectable showing. Tough loss, but a great game all the way around. A great night to honor someone who meant so much to that soccer program in Hilton High School.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Other news, just briefly, and we'll talk more later. But rough week for the Canes. Rough couple of days. Max and I both took our lumps last night to good Bamberg teams, as our young teams are trying to find their way, and went up against the cream of the crop in our region against Bamberg last night. Took L's, but I know our girls learned a ton and had some successes, personal successes that will help them along the way. And I know Max's guys did too, a number of them. So we're coming along. But boys soccer, our kind of flagship program right now, tough L tonight to Royal Live Oaks, the derby the Hardyville Derby, I suppose you'll call it.
Yeah.
It was a really good one. It was 2-0 early in favor of Royal, and then we came back and tied it, forced overtime. And Coach Bush called me on FaceTime and let me watch the shootout. We lost 4-3 in the shootout to Royal.
Oh,
So Royal Live Oaks with the win. We both made the first one, then we missed two in a row, and we saved one of them, but they made the other one, so it was 3-1. And then we scored 3-2. They scored, I don't know, somehow it came down to the last one, and they scored it to make it 4-3. I lost track at some point, but they scored the last one. If they had missed it, we would have gone another round. So we missed two, and they missed one. But it was a battle, I tell you. USCB baseball got a dub tonight, 6-4 over Augusta, non-conference game, but against a conference
nice.
opponent. So that's a good sign, certainly.
Very good.
Some other highlights over the last couple of nights that we haven't touched on yet. Hilton Head girls lacrosse not blanked, blew out Bluffton 18-5. Buford did get blanked 19-0 by Bishop England.
Wow.
But that's, those are two
Yeah.
teams that are not on the same stratosphere. As far as what the heck? I pushed the wrong button. As far as lacrosse goes, boys lacrosse similar. Hilton Head blew out Bluffton. Bishop England blew out Beaufort. Hilton Head Prep boys soccer 8-0 over BA, which is a pretty quality squad.
That is.
So I'm impressed by that. Wes or Max, I know you're friends with Lucas O'Grady, the new coach there, and we're definitely going to try to get him on the show soon to talk about the revival that is happening with Hilton
Absolutely.
Head Prep boys soccer. And I'm guessing that probably has impacted some other programs. They probably siphoned some guys over there when he was hired. I'm sure there were some guys who wanted to go be part of that academy training situation.
Yeah, because a lot
And
of
so probably a
a lot of
couple of guys from a couple of different schools have joined ranks.
yeah, because a lot of the players I think he has on his team, he was personally training before he became the head coach over at Helmet Prep. So I
Yep.
have a feeling a lot of those players, when they found out he became the head
Package
coach,
deal.
they knew he would be the
Yeah.
right man for them to be alongside. So this is really great to see a fellow graduating classmate from my class of Hilton Christian in 2019, being able to lead a program back to winning ways, and that's really good to see out of them. And I know he's the right man for the job, and he's really showing it, and definitely did that tonight.
No doubt about it. I'll actually pull up the scoreboard here so people can look at it while we're talking about them, because we won't read every score necessarily, but we'll give you kind of the highlights from last night. Bishop England blew out Hilton Head, so Seahawks were fortunate to get that one from Bishop England, and honestly, that one could end up changing their seeding or getting them into the playoffs if they're on the bubble, because Bishop England's going to sweep a lot of people. May River lost a tough one to Philip Simmons 2-1. Carleton Prep got a win. Good to see them getting the win column. Bridges Prep stays hot. Hilton Head Prep stays hot. First year softball program at HHCA put up a good fight against First Baptist 12-7. I don't know how long that First Baptist program has been around, but regardless, that's a competitive game, and that's a step when you're talking about a new program. As I'm learning firsthand, we lost 16-0, but played our best game we've played yet, which, it is what it is. We made some catches in the outfield. We made some plays on the infield. Our pitcher did not walk very many people. So we're definitely making strides. We were not ready for the velo that Miss Hutto from Bamberg Earhart brought to the table, though. We're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. She was thumping it. It was impressive. But we could put some good swings on her in the third inning after we kind of got adjusted. So Carleton Prep softball also won big over Jeff Davis. And then tonight we're still chasing some scores. We mentioned the USCB baseball win. A couple other scores we're still missing, but we do have that May River over Hilton Head game and the Canes game. Some baseball and softball. I saw JP2 went 10 innings earlier, lost 3-0. It was 0-0 through 9. Yeah, Crazy game.
Oh,
Hilton Head
that-
Christian beat Camden Military 11-1. That Bishop England Hilton Head game, that was the one that it looked like moved it last night. That's when the score was posted. Barnwell 2-0 over Bridges. Hampton County baseball, 3 touchdowns to Lake Marion's 1.
Oh,
So they usually score more than 21 in football against them, but that was still high scoring. May River put up another big number, 20-1 over Hilton Head in softball. Colleton County beat Bluffton pretty good. That was on Beaufort's own, so we can check out highlights later. And Colleton County and May River looks like a crash course for a region showdown. Cross Schools has a juggernaut softball program going, and JP2 is on the rise as well. Bridges met its match against Barnwell. So that's what we're looking at from tonight, to do a little bit of housekeeping, so to speak. And we are presented by Mickelson Law Firm, the original sponsor of LowcoSports, our all-star sponsor. They've been with us since the beginning. They're the official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. You can call on Mickelson Law Firm for all your legal needs, though. They're right in downtown Bluffton, and they'll help you out. We appreciate them. And tonight they present our friends who will tell us about the Special Olympics yesterday, and I'm sure we'll talk about a few other things as well. Marcus Walsh from WHHI TV, he was out there covering it. Jeff Riley was out there competing, and our great friend Ray Alonzo, who was out there volunteering as he often is. And gentlemen, welcome to the Sandbox.
Thanks very much, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to have y'all. Jeff, I'll start with you because you were the competitor yesterday. What events were you in? How'd you do?
It was just the local high schools, so yeah, just the high schools, all the people in the high school.
Yeah, but did you compete in any event? Oh, it was just the high school age kids. You didn't get to compete. Oh, he's going frozen. But it was just high school age kids.
Yeah,
that
this
competing
was
yesterday.
okay.
Yeah, this was.
Yeah, I remember. I remember when I was in high school. They took us when we were in gym class. They took us to watch the proceedings, and they had it at the high school. Seemingly, mostly pretty much every year they've had it at Hilton High, and it's a really cool event. And it's really awesome to see the high school students get the chance to compete against one another and to just celebrate themselves and their accomplishments. It's a really great thing that continues to be an integral part of sports here in the Low Country. Is this yearly Special Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear more about it from all of you and how the proceedings went to that, because I obviously I'm always captivated by the Special Olympics, and to see the amazing work that it takes to put it on, and also it's for those terrific athletes to show their skills out there.
Ray, go ahead before I chime in.
So what they've done now is they picked one date in the spring for all the schools to come together. So you've got the elementary, middle, and the high schools, all of Beaufort County. And within the last 2 years, they've invited the Jasper County schools in. So it's run by a program called SOAR, which is Special Olympics for Area 8. And that considers or account Beaufort, Jasper, and Colleton counties.
Right. Yeah. Yep, that's kind of our district for most things. It seems like, and I love it. I wish it was easier for the Jasper and Colleton folks to get to it. Just because we all have our struggles and with our transportation and stuff. But it's great that you guys have included our schools, our more outlying schools in that, because they just kind of fall in between on a lot of services, as you know. They're not quite in the Savannah market or the Hilton Head market, and they're not quite in the Charleston market, and they kind of get forgotten. So I'm glad that they got that opportunity, and I know our kids at Hardyville High School are really excited to to go and compete. So unfortunately, it was a little chaotic at school yesterday. So Coach Rayleigh and I weren't able to slip away and get over there. We were looking forward to it. But Marcus, you were out there reporting on the news, and you talked
Yep.
to a lot of the folks in charge. So just tell us about your day out at May River yesterday.
It was great. Got a chance to talk to Ray. He's on the report that's airing. I initially said Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it's actually into Monday because the first edition of the news for Monday won't air until 5 p.m. So you get about an extra day to check that out. Talk to Ray. Talk to Roy Jacobs. I believe his first name's Roy with FCA, and then talk to the woman that was in charge of the entire event.
Kathy.
I initially said it was not Kathy Kramer.
Oh, okay.
I initially said Kelly Thorne, but that was incorrect. Her name is not coming to mind at the moment. Her last name is Thorne. Talked to her, and this was the first time that she put on the entire event. She had worked with Kathy a bunch over the years. Actually was a former teacher at May River, and I actually asked her about Kathy because I know of SOAR and the Special Olympics through Kathy. I've met Kathy a few times, actually sang there at the Special Olympics a few times as well. My first time covering it was yesterday. Kimberly Thorne. I'm glad it came back to me. So I talked to Kimberly as well, and there are a bunch of different events. Wes was alluding to Hilton Head having a huge part in it.
Yep.
Hilton Head does a lot of the fall stuff, but exclusively for the spring for track and field, and as well as statewide. Obviously, it's up to the state figuring out who's going to get what. But the track and field is definitely a big event at May River. And as far as what I was able to glean from it all, I'm really impressed with what you guys had, Ray, with the fact that you said you had 21 athletes there. That had to have been an absolutely great feeling for you. Joe Keith was with me. He was able to get a little bit of B-roll on some things going on. Got a couple of shots of whether it was, long toss or shot put or whatever with a couple of athletes. So it was just getting some interviews, highlighting the events of the day, and couldn't have had a better day. I'm assuming everything wrapped up before the rain started,
I hope
knowing
so.
that it was going to be from 10 to 1.
I was worried because I was obviously watching the weather all day because we had home softball last night. So I was
Right.
concerned about the timing of it all. And I was thinking about the Special Olympics. I was like, man, it was looking like it was going to rain about noon or 1. And I was like, no, 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 no. And it held off until really it didn't really start raining until around 3. And it was done by about 4. So it didn't impede us. Our field just looked like we had watered it like we would if we had irrigation.
Like we're supposed to.
Yeah, like we would if we had irrigation.
Right.
So it actually played really well. But yeah, it held off enough that I'm glad you guys were able to get it in. You said 21 athletes, is that right?
Yeah, we had one for Battery Creek, and I think
for Battery Creek alone, you had 21. I was going to say that's a low number. Only 21. I've been out there before, and it felt like there were 100 at least.
Yeah,
but,
no, I was talking about Rays alone.
Your school alone, 21. That's awesome,
Wow.
man.
That's very good.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. And Libby giving love to the WHHI coverage. So as Marcus mentioned, that'll air a number of times, but it'll also live forever on the internet. So you can go to the YouTubes and watch it, which is awesome. Jeff, who were some of your buddies that were standouts yesterday if you're not being gremlined at the moment? He's being gremlined. We gotta get my guy Jeff a little better internet connection. Ray, who's some of your standouts from Battery Creek?
One of the boys his name's Haziel Martinez. He got interviewed by our Beaufort County media guy. Now, when I tell you that he is the most happiest person I've ever met in my life,
happier than Jeff?
Happy New Year.
When you walk away after talking to this boy, you'll feel like you're on a cloud.
Yeah.
And he just loves people.
Yeah.
For him, on our spotlight. That was awesome to see.
That's fantastic. Jeff, any of your buddies put on a show yesterday?
Yeah, I know Wayne was out there. Wayne
Okay.
and Jacob.
Jacob, the mascot security man,
And
he was
There you
competing.
go.
All right.
yeah, and Jackson too.
Okay. Awesome.
Nice.
Some of your friends getting medals yesterday. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Ray, you also, if people haven't connected the dots, you are, of course, the father of our friend Tim Alonso, who unfortunately passed away recently. And you know, we've all worn that hard, but you've been able to bring a lot of positive out of Tim's untimely passing. And I know you've got a foundation going. Tell us a little bit about how that's developing and what you've been able to do with that.
Yeah, it was, untimely and all of those sad words that people have used before. But
Yeah.
we've taken his spirit and put it into a foundation, like you said, through the Community Foundation of the Low Country. So we're taking donations, and what we're going to do is disperse it amongst some of his interests.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys are one of them with the LowcoSports and the One Loco group. He was a big River Ridge Academy fan. His mom teaches there. He went there, brothers and sisters. So we're going to work with them and their sports program and concession stands to help them some donations.
I love that.
It's awesome.
Tim was an avid reader. So we're going to work with the Beaver County libraries, especially the Bluffton Library.
Nice. Love it.
Nice. Tim was very interested recently with anime.
Okay.
So we're trying to work with them to try to get more anime books
Very cool.
stocked for their library.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. The kids love the anime, man.
They do. This
My kids love it.
Yeah.
I have one student who you would love. You want to talk about floating on a cloud. Aster is incredible and but Aster is selectively mute and chooses not to speak and which is kind of cool because Aster and I get to communicate in other ways. And one of the ways is that Aster has started writing comics, like little flip through comics on a sheet of paper that is folded up. And Max has read some of the comics, but very anime feeling, hand animation, like cool, wild characters, just super cool stuff. I love this generation of kids. I think they are the most misunderstood generation of all time. But working with them every day, and I'm sure you have the same experience, Ray. They know what they like and they know where to find it and how to lean into it, and they do, man. They run with it, and when they find their special interest or talent, man, they're just incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very passionate about whatever they decide to be interested or whatever they decide to do. Because it's really great. And these young people, they have like they have strong opinions about things, and I think that's great for young kids to really be invested in so many different areas of life, and especially in sports, they get into these events on the field, on the court, etc. They put in the work and they perform, but it's when we lose one of them, it's just heartbreaking because you see potential to a guy like Tim, someone who is so influential to us, but also maybe for high school in general and so many others, and someone who left a lot of great memories behind, and we still will always very much miss him dearly, and was a great asset to LowcoSports, and really enjoyed my time with him. I wish it was a little longer, but it's just really sad to see. Really sad when I heard the news, just completely unexpected and just absolutely tragic. But that spirit lives on May River, lives on the Loco, and it's great to see.
Yeah,
lives on in River Ridge, lives on in Battery Creek,
everywhere.
lives on everywhere, man.
Well, I mean, Wes took the words out of my mouth because I think every day we do this show, we're living with Tim's memory. We
Yep.
continue to keep Tim's memory alive. I think
Especially when Ray gives us a thumbs up or a comment.
exactly. And I think what we do every night is what Tim would want us to do every night, and that is to cover the area, to cover the local sports, the Low Country, the place that he loves and that he grew up in. And so I think that's always important for us to continue doing.
Heck yeah, man. And we're grateful that you continue to be a part of it as well, Ray, and that, for if you're looking for a silver lining, I think that you and I and Andrea and the rest of your family are going to have a great relationship for a long time to come, and we're going to do some great things together. So we appreciate that. And guys, we appreciate you joining us as well. We'll give you a chance to say something else before you go to leave us on a little better note. How those brackets looking, first of all? Jeff said he didn't even fill one out, which is blasphemy. You got to fill one out. Is it busted, Ray?
Mine,
I had a Clemson team going a little bit further than the.
Same.
Yeah.
McNeese is my one upset that came through.
Damn you, Justin!
That's like my one upset that came
Get
through.
into words.
Unless you count Arkansas over Kansas, because I had to pick that one. Just
Man, I was on the Mizzou Tigers. I thought they were.
That obviously blew mine up. And I knew it was going to happen. That's the most frustrating thing. I just couldn't pick it because that's conceding.
I do have something in our closing thoughts later on the show regarding.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
That I want to share with y'all, but I thought I'd just keep that in mind so I don't.
I'll look forward to that. But Jeff, you good over there, buddy? You got any big news to report?
No.
Really I know you're working on one scoop that you'll tell us about later, but anything else come across your radar?
Yeah, the 12th we have a tournament, basketball tournament.
Your basketball tournament's coming up on the 12th
in Charleston, and the 26th. The
12th and the 26th, both in Charleston.
No, the 26th is in Columbia.
Columbia. All right, so it must be like the regionals in the state or something like that type of deal. All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to a report on that coming up so that we can see how you guys did in the basketball tournament. But Ray Alonso, thanks so much, man. We appreciate you so much. And Jeff Riley, it looks like you've gremlined out again. But we'll let you guys go for the night. I know it's getting late. Been a long week, but thanks so much for hopping on with us, and thanks for everything you do.
Thank you, guys. Keep it up.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Love you guys. See you later. There we go. Appreciate the assist, whoever clicked that button. I was trying to find everybody in due time. Yes, found family is a beautiful thing, and I find new family members every day, it seems like, and I love that. Lowco continues to do great things for our students and community, forever fans. We're trying, man. We're doing the best that we can. There's a lot going on for sure, and we're trying to keep up with it the best that we can when we have the energy, because we all have a lot going on as well. But hey, boys, let's shout out some more sponsors. We got Hudson Seafood House on the docks back in the Lowco Booster Club for another year. Great place for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails on Hilton Head Island. Tomorrow would be a great day to go sit at Hudson's for a couple hours and munch on some food and have a couple
after you finish going to Wingfest.
Oh, is it Wingfest tomorrow?
Well,
that probably
they'll
probably have some kind of booth over there. I don't know if they do wings or not, but they might for that kind of deal. Presenting sponsor of Under the Bus, Hudson Seafood House on the docks. New episode came out last Wednesday night before the brackets, so you can go listen to it and then laugh at how wrong those guys were with their graphics or their brackets. New sponsor is Hilton Head Furniture. All of our brackets are trash. Everybody knows that. Hilton Head Furniture is our new sponsor. They have great furniture that's made just up the road in Hickory, North Carolina, and brought down to Hilton Head to put in your home and keep it there for a long time, because they have great quality furniture, better than you'll get in the big box stores, and it's going to last a long time and be a focal point in your home. Hilton Head Furniture, new sponsor. All right, dudes. What else are we looking at tonight?
Nice.
What do you want to talk about?
USCB, it's a one game. It doesn't count, unfortunately, towards conference standings. It's a one game,
Right. But it
just
sure counts
friendly.
in your hearts and
Right.
minds.
Like
Hey,
the
it counts the overall record, just not in the conference
yeah,
record.
it
But
does. But to
yeah,
put
and
the
a
word,
really terrific performance,
Yeah.
especially from Joe Davis, who picked up a home run to extend the
Don't you,
lead and
Joe?
also start off a double
Joe
down the line.
Turner or Joe Davis or
John
is that a
Davis
different
and
guy?
Joe
John
Turner.
Davis.
John Davis.
I'm sorry. It's,
John Davis, yeah.
those names are so similar.
They sure are.
Yeah.
Well, it's
John
good that he
Davis
picked up a
Every
homer
man
because he
names.
dang near hit one last Friday
Yeah.
night when I was
Yeah,
there.
God, so close.
Yeah.
Whew.
But I
Yeah.
will say this.
Oh,
in
that
terms
was
of the
the home run that wasn't.
That was the home run that wasn't. That's right.
That was a
That
heartbreaker.
was
Yeah.
the home
Also,
run that
Joe
wasn't.
Davis is a Joe Davis.
Man, you chip carried me on that one.
Yeah.
I thought
Well,
that thing was
also,
gone off the bat.
I was thinking Joe Davis because he's the Fox. He's the
There you
Dodgers
go.
broadcaster.
Play-by-play
And also
guy.
is, yeah.
You're getting to that age where names
Yeah.
get jumbled up in your brain. It's just
Yeah.
gonna get worse
Yeah.
and worse. I promise you. Here's something I do got some speaking. Well, we weren't speaking of softball, but we do have the Colleton County Bluffton highlights, or what we have of them. From Beaufort's own, it was already 6-0 when we pick it up here. Ooh, the lighting was tough.
Ooh,
That's a
Tough
tough place
lighting.
to do.
where to
That's
see.
where
Did
that field sits, man.
Yeah, the way that softball field sits, both fields, honestly, they get harsh light. But
Yeah,
we get harsh
yeah,
light.
I mean,
We get harsh light everywhere this time of night.
We struggled with Bluffton
or
the
this
2
time of
days
year.
that me and Javon were in Bluffton for games they had on Friday and Saturday. I mean, we
Yeah.
struggled with making sure the lighting was actually working.
The light is tough, especially on that softball field. You just can't wait for the sun to go down and the lights
Yes.
to come on. Honestly, kind of true in our field too. Right field's a tough sun field
You
for
guys,
us. Or left field,
do you
sorry.
guys schedule softball games against Bluffton at all?
No, we haven't. I didn't think we were going to be ready for all that this year.
Okay.
Swing number 2, right over the head.
I mean, we didn't need to chase it, like I don't think they have too much trouble getting games either.
No.
But I just didn't know what I was going to have coming
Yeah, that's a good
into
point.
the season. I didn't want to bite off too much. And I don't think we did. Like, we were pretty overmatched against Bamberg, but
Yeah.
just the pitcher, we're going to take the pitching machine out and crank it up and start to get more familiar with seeing that kind of velo.
We might need to do that as well for baseball.
But I don't think we'll see that kind of velo other than them, honestly. Whale Branch has a girl who throws pretty hard, but not as hard as her. So I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, for us,
We have
Bamberg is
Hampton on
really-
Monday.
Yeah,
and
Bamberg's really the only
they're
team
like
we have
us.
that will be throwing as hard as that kid we had.
Right.
Last night.
Yeah, but that was an 8th grader, right? Shoot.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Getting bedazzled by 8th graders.
Yeah.
Well, this next generation of kids coming up knows how to play
Dude,
ball, man.
I'm telling you, man. Golly. I don't think I was throwing that hard as an 8th grader.
We're getting into a stretch coming up from.
It wasn't until like.
It's already started, but it's really starts. It's going to start picking up when this current 8th grade class gets to high school. The next few years, there's going to be dudes coming everywhere.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't until like late my freshman year and then going into my sophomore year during the offseason is when my arm really started showing up.
Yeah. These kids are big and strong and well trained at this stage. A lot of them. They've been seeing pitching coaches for years and doing arm strengthening routines for years, and they're ready for the show. You just hope their arms hold up.
It's all about readiness, recuperation, and conditioning.
Yeah, and people have gotten a lot smarter about pitch counts and throwing programs and that kind of stuff. There's still some that are abusing kids' arms and So we're still certainly worried about the Tommy John epidemic and all that kind of stuff.
I'm
But I
surprised
think
that didn't
there's.
at least get a write chuckle out of you, JJ.
Wait, what'd you? I missed it. I'm sorry.
I said readiness, recuperation, and conditioning.
Yeah, I don't. What's
Rookie of the year.
Oh, I got you. It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
It's a great one.
If you'd have said Funky Butt Lovin', you would have got me. But
Of course.
yeah, can you just say Funky Butt Lovin'?
He sure did.
One of the
And then he
most
called the
classic.
nurse in the room. Oh, what a movie.
Oh, Libby, I wasn't trying to go there. Oh, the lighting's getting. Oh no, still bad out here this way. Oh,
I just saw
Cougars
Kevin
was putting a
comment.
ban on it. Yeah, that one's not getting on screen.
I think that was just for us, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a slip by me though. I'm usually pretty good about not doing unintentional double entendre, but I usually do intentional double entendre, but that one was unintentional. Oh Lord. But also, these kids say things that make me blush, so I can't even.
And that one going to be caught outside the foul line.
My filter's diminishing. Yeah, I can't see. I'm also blind, going blind, and
that one hit right down the middle, caught again.
Yeah, it's hard with
oh, they made a play.
fact the sun was going down too.
Yeah, that light was rough.
Makes it tricky.
The backlighting on that one angle is tough.
Tough.
So I'm interested in this young Cougars pitcher though, because she looks pretty good, and I'm not familiar with her work yet, except from Game Changer. But she whips it pretty good. She looks like a legit pitcher.
When we say
doesn't throw as hard as that girl from Bamberg was last night from the left side. Whew.
What do we say in terms of softball within this region that Colton County is second best in the region right now?
Yeah, I think it's between them and May River. You know, and I'm not placing any bets on either one of them because Colleton has a program. You know, they reload and they're well trained and they've been playing a long time, and they got big physical kids who hit the crap out of the ball and go get it on defense. So I'm not conceding that. Look at that. I'm not conceding that region to May River. I don't think. I want to see what it looks like when they play each other.
That should be fun.
Whew. That's nice. Oh, is that Lenasia pitching? I thought they had a new young pitcher.
I will say Bluffton's not good right now, but they got a middle school program that's going to really bring this.
Bluffton Middle is a juggernaut this year.
Yeah,
I think it's unfortunate. I think had everybody known, you can't know, but I think if everybody had known what the numbers were, they probably would have had some of those Bluffton Middle girls play up and fielded JV. But I think it got too late, and the Bluffton Middle group kind of wanted to be together. Oh, that is Lenasia pitching, and she signed with SC State. Love to see it. I want to see more and more girls from our rural schools go into those HBCU softball programs because some of them need an injection of talent. Oh no!
It's still.
Oh, you can't leave home, baby. Oh.
It still boggles my mind. I understand that softball pitchers are using a motion that is much more natural and much less taxing on the arm.
Mm-hmm.
But it still boggles my mind
how many
they
pitches
can
they can
do
throw.
That for as many pitches as they throw, as many innings as they throw. Like say in a double header,
well, it just doesn't put any strain on that elbow ligament,
and then they do it again.
It doesn't put any strain on that elbow ligament because it's a natural underhand motion, whereas the baseball motion puts your arm in an unnatural spot, and then when you start torquing it, then that's where you really get into trouble. I mean, you can get some arm soreness and stuff from pitching a softball. but not so
Sure.
More
much.
forearm.
You do
You know,
anything
More
that
the
much, and I
forearm
would
area
think
that
it
would
would
get the
hurt
most.
sure,
after.
and I mean you're still subject to kind of basic overuse injury type stuff.
I mean, it's
And you
more
might
this
you
part.
might get a torn labrum or something
Yeah,
like that, and
it'd be more right around here that would probably get the most strain out of the softball pitchers.
but it
Right around
really is it's
So
a
you're
pretty
saying more the
natural.
forearm area, Max,
Yeah,
probably the
ahead of
certainly
the elbow,
forearm and
there's
wrist.
forearm and wrist.
yeah, because of the
Yeah,
flipping, and especially when they start spinning it, then you
spinning. Yeah,
get some, you
Right.
can get some, but a well-trained pitcher, that's conditioning themselves for it, is doing so much work daily on all that stuff that they're just building up the muscle
I mean, look at
over time, so, and getting stronger and stronger. So they're really
Kinlaw.
not,
Yeah,
there's not
right. Look
really
at
an
Sierra
injury
Kinlaw.
concern with it.
What I would like for anyone who watches or plays softball, like go and watch a USCB game and watch Sierra Kinlaw do
Yeah.
warm up before the
Yeah.
game. Like it's rigorous, but it works and it helps.
And
her
they
be
do
a-
it every day. I mean, that's
every
the
day.
thing, is they do it
Every
every
day.
day. So, they just don't have
Building
any,
habits.
they don't have any deficiencies,
No,
muscular deficiencies. They're
me
so
on the
built
other hand,
up. What's that?
me on the other hand, I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
deficiencies at this point. So does
I'm
Eamon
getting
Collins.
pretty good at fast pitching, actually, from
Yeah.
learning it to teach it.
Yeah.
Yes, rides, HBCUs do teach so much more than academics. Yes, the Divine Nine. And I've already had the talk with my girls about the fact that yeah. Context keys, clues. But no, I've already talked to my kids about the number of HBCU softball programs out there, and the number that are struggling, to field teams, as well as the ones that are giving scholarships to white kids, and that's not their ideal. I mean, it's just
Right.
so. But then you look around, you turn on any SEC or Big Ten softball game right now, and you're going to see a much more diverse lineup than you see in most baseball games.
Yeah.
So some
Yeah.
things are being done right on the softball side of things to attract, a more diverse group of kids to the game and help them see their way through, the expenses and things like that can derail them. So it's a great opportunity, and I love that softball is growing in this
Yeah, it
area. That
really is.
more and more schools are fielding programs.
Especially
Hilton
Jesus. I
Head's
went to
trying to get a
Jesus
rec
softball.
program going, so it's really on the up, and I love it because it's a great, fun, exciting sport. It really, for someone who finds baseball dull but otherwise likes the action but finds it too slow, softball's a really good alternative
I feel like
because it's a
softball's a lot
lot
more
faster.
fast paced at times,
It
and
is.
just there's a lot more. You don't have much time between pitches, and it just there's
Right.
you get to first base, or you go between the bases quick. It's just
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot
There's a lot of
more,
action.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot more compact compared to baseball. It's a different game. I mean, they're both very exciting, but I have really enjoyed being part of softball, USCB, and around Loco in general. And it's really
Love it.
starting to. I mean, we've seen May River have a couple of really great years the last few
Yep.
seasons. Colleton Preps won some state championships. Have gotten
Yep.
some state championship
Colleton
series. So
County's been exceptional.
I
yeah,
will say,
Buford High had a really good run with
they
Kylie
did.
pitching. Battery
Yeah,
Creek won a state
yeah,
title.
recently.
We've had softball talent here and Thomas Hayward was a juggernaut for a while.
They were.
And so we've had softball talent here, but it's definitely proliferating now, in a way that baseball did, 10 or 15 years ago. And it's going to be fun to watch it develop over the next few years.
I'll say this though, kind of in a way, devil's advocate. I know I haven't seen, let alone called much baseball since I was in college. I did call the Little League World Series last year, and then obviously was at USCB last week. But I was impressed even with the amount of mound visits that we saw in those 3 games over 2 days. I
Yeah.
was really impressed, and the fact that we saw a boatload of runs and last Friday night was a 4-hour, 12-inning game. I was really impressed with the overall pace of play. Um,
Yeah.
outside of the pitching changes and mound visits, there really wasn't any extra, just
No,
dead
they
air,
move them
so to
along.
speak.
Yeah,
They
they've
they
got
do.
they've got the pitch clock, so it keeps things moving. And then they get them in and out between innings. Those
Yeah.
umpires don't get paid by the hour, so they're ready to go. Get the catcher ready. That's why we
Yep.
give you a courtesy
True.
runner, right?
Yep.
I don't know if they do courtesy runners in NCAA. They did back in the NAIA, and we abused that rule. We had a man who appeared in 2 games officially and led the league in stolen bases with 40 something.
Wow.
That was his only job. You just run for the catcher, go steal all them bases, bro. It was amazing. But what else? What else jumped out tonight? Um, I don't know. I'm so tired. But baseball and softball getting going, firing up. Have we seen a girls soccer score from May River and
Last I checked, Children was up 1-0. That's what I heard when I
wait,
was at fucking.
I just saw in the comments on Instagram, and I don't know if it's true, but somebody said George Foreman passed away.
I was
What?
going to. That was going to be my parting thought for tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. Well, we
You.
will save that for a parting thought, but it's almost time for those because it's getting kind of late, and it
Yep.
seems like we're kind of running out of things to talk about. We'll talk first about what's going on tomorrow. Wait, I got Augusta USCB. Wait, what
USV softball's
happened?
home tomorrow.
Softball's home tomorrow, but I have baseball on the schedule too, and I don't think that's right because
No,
that schedule ended up
That's
getting
not right.
moved.
baseball's done for the weekend. That was our
Yeah.
only. That was our only game.
Yeah, it was
So
just one game
softball
today.
at home against Augusta
And
tomorrow,
those are
doubleheader.
important games because if you look at the Peach Belt right now, I pull up the Peach Belt softball landscape. This series is absolutely critical for USB. This is a very winnable series for them.
Okay.
And yeah, right now, as long as you don't finish last, you get a spot. So the top 8 and 9 softball
Right.
teams make the Peach Belt tournament, and so really, if you can take one series against a team like Augusta, that could be all you need to get that spot. So this is a critical, absolutely critical weekend for softball. You need to win this series.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Augusta sitting at 2-7, lingering around 500 overall, and USCB 1-8, 18-15 overall. So evenly matched series at home. You need to get the series victory at the very least, and they'll have a chance to potentially lock that down tomorrow because first 2 games of the 3-game set tomorrow starting at 2 p.m. Should be a beautiful day for softball out in the Ville. And big ones for USCB, and then the finale at noon Sunday, and should be a beautiful day for that as well. Boys lacrosse tomorrow, couple games: St. James at Bluffton, Philip Simmons at Beaufort, and a baseball game on the schedule: Andrew Jackson at Patrick Henry, as well as St. Andrews at Hardyville, in what should be an evenly matched game between 2 teams that are looking for a dub. So somebody gets to win on Saturday, and that's exciting. That's exciting. These kind of games matter to programs like ours, man. You just need, for both of us, we just need to play somebody that we can be competitive with and play a competitive game and have a chance to win. That's something you can build off of. So, all right, final round of sponsors, and then we'll get to our final thoughts, which can linger on for a while at times, and certainly will with the news about George Foreman. Base Hit Life, baseball and softball themed apparel. Get you a cool hoodie like the one Max often wears that says calm your mitts, or any of their other cool baseball and softball themed styles over at basehitlife.com, and live your best base hit life. Dr. Ambrose Cole, our official chiropractor, you can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Reverence Wrestling Club is our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country, get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. And Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Although I saw they were going to be closed for a little while because Jacob Alfonso is going to Virginia Beach for the duels. or Nationals. I mean, not the duels. Virginia Beach Nationals. So best of luck up there. Yeah, this episode did have many under the radar dirty jokes and inadvertent. My brain is on autopilot. We don't need him to fly off the rails. That's facts. We've flown off the rails plenty of times without Kevin Libby. All right, boys. Parting thoughts. I guess we'll go around the horn. We'll Wes
you
finish
start
it
with
off
Foreman
with
since you
George
brought up
Foreman.
first. You know more about him than I do. I vaguely, I mean, the
Well, I
thing
figure
know
we'd end with
about
Foreman.
there are two
I
things.
figure
When he
we'll
was
end with Foreman. Let's see what else
all
we
right.
got.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was gonna just bring up something about the bracket challenge and how that's going. None of us are doing particularly well. I mean, no, I mean, some of us are doing better than others, but certainly not on the level that some were expecting to, which is seemingly how it always goes this time of year. Although I will say that there were some picks that I wish I would have went differently with, but hey, that's what happens every year. You hit on some and you end up missing on some others, but that's what makes it fun. And it's been an interesting tournament so far. I mean, not too many huge upsets. Like we haven't seen a top 4 seed go down yet, but I'll have 12 over 5s, including McNeese. You mentioned Colorado State.
That one I had.
Yep, that one was
I
a lot of people picked Colorado State to win that game, but another 12 over 5 there.
I believed in Penny.
Yeah, yeah. So
Michigan State's getting a little fight from Bryant right now.
They sure are. I've been watching that.
Keep an eye on that one.
The whip
That
around
will
that I
be
got
the
on my
end to
TV.
all brackets right there. If
Oh
Michigan
man, I would
State
troll.
loses,
I would troll Willis so hard tomorrow if that went down.
Did he pick Michigan State?
Well,
he's a
I remember Middle Tennessee.
Willis is a Michigan State guy.
I remember flashbacks
okay.
to Middle Tennessee when they knocked off Michigan State in the first round.
Yes,
the month of Izzo skips a year every now and then.
Oh, my bracket is in the dump right now.
Yeah, mine's pretty much.
I actually feel pretty good about
mine. However,
15.4% of my games I've predicted correctly.
However, ESPN reports that there are still 334 perfect brackets.
Whoa.
At this time.
That's remarkable.
That's nuts.
Well, think about this.
A lot of those are people picking like 20 different brackets and just picking some random teams.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right.
I will say this
There's
though.
No question about
that number has gone significantly down because I think total brackets across all major networks that were doing the bracket challenges and stuff was around 31.4 million brackets, I think. It went down to 36,000 perfect brackets, and now we're at like, what is it,
334. That's ESPN's Sprint Challenge. Yep.
I checked out of that category early.
Yeah,
real early.
I did too.
Like the first game of the day, I think.
Yeah, Louisville.
The first game of that day.
No, I had that one, but I'm whiffed on High Point Purdue, so I was out of the
I did too.
Perfect bracket.
But
early.
I had Louisville going, and so that ruined my bracket. Literally,
Louisville is a top 10 team, but they did not show up, and the ACC has not shown up besides Duke.
Well,
the only
I
one
mean,
left.
I heard the big talk today, and obviously with conference realignment and whatnot in all sports, it's the big thing is, what's wrong with the ACC? They only got 4 teams in. Well, the money is with the SEC, and the Big Ten is not that far off either.
Yeah.
Those two conferences have just absolutely dominated. They did it in football. They're doing it now here in the March Madness tournament, and that's what it's going to turn into.
Those two schools either that have done better in this in this tournament. The Big East has had better showing in this tournament than the ACC as well.
That's very true.
It's not just the big conferences. Like the ACC in total wasn't really a great year for the ACC.
No,
anyway.
They're very top heavy.
Yeah.
You know what though?
With Duke, Clemson,
Will Wade
Yeah,
going to
it's-
NC State is very
and a
interesting
few others.
because I think he's taking them boys from McNeese with him because
He could.
they
Yep.
they didn't seem mad about him going to NC State. They seem hype about it. I think they're going to Raleigh, and I think they might make a little
I
run
thought
here.
that was going to be a distraction for McNeese too. I thought for a second it could have been a
I
distraction.
thought so.
For them. If
Well, they
I don't
have
think it is.
the greatest hype
It was
man in
motivation.
They do have the
Amir
best hype
Khan.
man. Their
Yep.
manager is amazing, and I bet he's
Yeah.
going to Raleigh with them.
Yeah.
He's getting he better get an NIL deal to go to Raleigh with them too, because they need that man
Yeah.
on the boombox.
Yep.
But yeah, I love those guys. Yes, Duke and Florida both did look dominant today. I think they're on a collision course.
Here's I'll
Although
tell
I
you the
do
game.
think
I'll tell you the game to
Duke's
watch
matchup with
tomorrow.
Baylor is a
I'll
little
tell you the game
dangerous.
to watch tomorrow. Houston,
be-
Gonzaga.
Oh,
Yep.
that's going to be
Meeting in
great.
the second round, and
I think
the top
Duke
10
Baylor
teams in
is
Ken Palm.
equally
Those two teams are
scary.
top 10 in Ken Palm. They're meeting in the
Yeah,
second
Duke's
round of the
next.
tournament.
Duke's
How,
next.
That's
I have
crazy.
no idea how
I'm-
Gonzaga ended up being an 8 seed, but there they are.
I'm excited to see Arkansas St. John's too.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah,
gonna
the
be-
hatred.
That is going to be just absolutely fun to watch. Those
Just
two coaches
oh.
hate each other.
Oh,
hate each
they
other.
should put little coach cams on the side where we can just watch them both the whole time.
Dude,
I would just be enamored.
Patino and Calipari hate each other.
You think Patino
Hey.
busts out the white suit tomorrow?
Ooh,
I would.
I would too.
I would
bust
go
that
for it.
shit out immediately.
I don't
Especially
think he's
for that
worn that
game,
since
man.
he left Louisville. But
No, he hasn't. I don't think
should.
so. I haven't seen him wear it, but that would be a game to wear it for.
Hell yeah.
He and Calipari. The post-game press conference is going to be glorious, no matter who loses.
Yes.
Just no matter who wins or
Ah.
loses, it's going to be glorious.
I love that.
Yeah, I think they need to move new hires. Yeah, until after the madness. It is a weird thing, right? The weirdest one
Or at
is
least when they
Jai
lose.
Lucas, literally being like, "Yeah, well, I'll coach with Duke through the ACC tournament, but then I'm splitting for Miami." Like, wait, what?
At least
You're not gonna
the
see
team-
him through the
team
tournament?
should be- I mean, look, I'd say this: the team deserves to know if their coach is leaving. But if it comes to the public, I would have waited till their season was done. Like, there's agreement between NC State and McNeese, and it's there, but don't make it public until after McNeese.
Right.
Well, is the contract official? Did he officially confirm that he will be coaching NC State next year?
Yeah, I don't know if it was just journalism that got it out there, or if
I've seen reports
they
that
released
it's
it.
going to happen,
'cause
but
I
I
would
don't
have kept it on.
Journalists who have their stuff, who have their sources,
Yes,
don't
that's
have
true.
to wait for the school to send out the press release.
Right.
That's not
Yeah.
a requirement. That's the goal, is to break it before they send out the press release.
Right.
Always. And these days it's easier and easier to do that stuff because people are like tracking flights and like, I mean, we were doing that a little bit back in the day, but like not like they do now with the internet being what it is and all these apps and social media, and somebody's seen in Raleigh, it's like you can't go get a cup of coffee when you're interviewing for a job without getting caught on social media, and then the whole world's like, oh, here's a clip of this man ordering coffee in Raleigh. He's coaching there now. It's all over.
Apparently, Mr. Deeds was found at a Wendy's.
long gone are the days of the live stream of The Door at Kentucky.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I watched that live stream for hours one day.
I mentioned I was going to talk.
The Giants passed on Rodgers for Jameis. That's
Jameis
so funny.
Winston. I think Aaron Rodgers could end up in Pittsburgh.
No.
Oh my God.
I don't think they want him. Did you see what their players said about him?
Giants front office, man, needs to be canned, bro. They suck.
I haven't.
They
Genius,
suck.
like,
This guy.
in 2025,
Humpadink.
I'm not a Giants fan, but even I can admit that the Giants front office is horrible. They make one terrible mistake after another.
I mean, what's worse than letting Saquon Barkley go? I mean, you can't get any worse than that. Oh, maybe sign Jameis.
And they go winning the Super Bowl in his first year in Philadelphia. That's just the dumbest. Oh, God, that's
Yeah, the
so
Giants
annoying.
are a clown show, certainly, but I'm glad they did not invite Aaron Rodgers into their clown show.
That
'cause
wouldn't have been
would
as good of a choice either.
Yeah,
That would have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
Honestly, I would have.
even
I,
Are the
worse.
Vikings
At this
still?
point-
Are they just going to do Brett Favre and join the Vikings? Is that still a
No,
possibility?
the
Well, they're-
Vikings said today they're out on him. They're
Yeah,
out
he's
on
out.
him.
All right.
So the
then
Steelers
no
are
more.
like the only
Joe.
landing spot left.
Yeah, it
and
could be Pittsburgh.
one of the Steelers players
Pittsburgh
went on
already
his
has a
own
quarterback, don't they?
podcast.
They have Wilson.
They got Russell Wilson. Why do they
They
need
do.
Rodgers?
They do have
Uh,
Wilson.
Well, no, I think Russell Wilson is also a free agent. He was on a 1-year
But is
deal.
he on the move as well? Is
Or-
his contract expired?
Or
Do you
the
know what?
the
Okay.
Steelers could stick with him.
Hmm.
But Rodgers visited the Steelers, left without a deal. I'm trying to find the
Hmm.
I don't know. But one of the Steelers players, I forget who it was now. But he on his own podcast was
He
like,
is a free agent. Oh my
"Oh, it's
God.
Cam Hayward." Cam Hayward called him out
Russell
and
Wilson
was
was a
like,
free agent?
he was like, get out of here. Like, if you don't want to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, then we don't want you here. But
Well,
don't
there's a team
be
interested.
hijacking this, acting like, you're Mr. Big or
Marcus will
whatever.
like this. There's a team interested in Russell Wilson right now, and that is the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I saw that about a week ago.
Yeah, they're
I was
interested.
talking to
Oh,
my
If they
dad
don't go
about
after
it.
Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
Please,
Russell
Him, but-
Wilson,
please let Aaron go languish in Cleveland for a year and then
can I?
Well,
Before I-
fade
inexperienced.
off
Yeah,
into
here's the thing.
obscurity.
Russell Wilson. That if they don't get Russell Wilson, there's only one other option right now in my mind for Cleveland. To
Well,
go
there's
after.
the draft,
There's a draft. But
Right,
there's
but-
also Kirk Cousins as an option as well.
right?
That's a
yeah,
good one.
yeah, that
Yeah.
could make sense.
Kirko.
Yeah.
Kirko Chains. Shadura top 3 pick. I don't know, man.
No.
I think people are
No.
souring on him because
I don't think
Deion's
he's
being
top
weird.
3. No, I don't like him as a top 3. Top 10, maybe. Top 3, no.
Yeah, there's only a handful of organizations where he would make sense, and
Yeah.
a lot of them he just doesn't. It's
Yeah.
too much. They can't handle all that. Like it's the circus is just going to be
Oh
too
my
much.
God,
I
they
don't
did-
think Cleveland's drafting him because I
Wow.
think he's going to pull some shenanigans if they do and not sign and just prepare for a circus. It's going to be
Travis Hunter manned up in Cleveland. I don't know about Shadur Sanders, Kevin.
Yeah.
But Travis
Travis
Hunter,
Hunter would be not a bad option for Cleveland. They could
maybe.
use Travis Hunter.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, well, anybody could. He's really
Oh,
good.
He is
Yeah.
He's a really good football player.
He's got a
Um,
trophy to prove
No
it.
way. Wow.
Yeah, for somebody who hated Favre, A-Rod sure did take the same path almost. That would have been hilarious if he went to Minnesota. That would have been hilarious.
I think he was hoping to go to Minnesota to see if he can do what Brett Favre did, was go to the NFC Championship game and see what happens.
I don't think Coach
Yeah.
Prime's going to
Better.
Cleveland. Cleveland does not seem like
No.
Coach Prime's kind of place.
At this
Um,
point,
No.
Prime's probably
Uh-uh.
staying in Colorado at this point. I mean,
Yeah,
at least
yeah, for now at
another year.
least.
For
For now
another
at
year at
least.
yeah.
Doesn't he have another kid there still?
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
Shiloh.
Yeah, he's going to see
Yes.
him through.
Yeah.
He's going to see him through because the whole reason he did all this was to coach his kids.
And Shiloh's
Like,
a
that
good
was
player
clear.
too. Shiloh's probably going to get drafted as well when
And
he
then
goes
yeah,
to
and then once
Colorado.
he's got 2 kids in the league, he can decide where he wants to go or try to manipulate to get them together and then
Yeah,
go
well.
there. So it's still playing out for him. He's got a longer range view of this, I think. He's trying to follow his kids. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll see what happens.
He's trying to see him through. It's wild. It's wild that like
Yeah.
one of the greatest NFL players of all time, one of the great multi-sport athletes of all time, is literally doing daddy ball in college. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so Justin, did you want to hear my Kansas thing that I was mentioning?
Yeah.
earlier?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, so Kansas, with their first round loss to Arkansas, it is only the second time a preseason AP number 1 has lost in the first round of the men's NCAA tournament. Does anybody want to
Nice.
guess what the second team is?
Kansas.
It's Kansas in 2005.
Was that
Now,
Northern Iowa?
is
Who'd they lose to that year?
Wasn't
I'm
that
gonna
was
look
later.
actually.
Was the year
that-
2000?
No, that was like
was-
2010 or 2007.
What year was it,
Ali
Max?
Farouk.
2005.
2005. If it was 05, with the tournament in 06 or the tournament in 05?
That's what I'm looking at.
Tournament in 05, I'm guessing.
I did see that they lost in the first round. I'm trying to think of who it was off the top of my head. I think it was Bradley in 05.
It was
Bucknell.
Bucknell, yeah, Bucknell. That was
Yeah.
wonderful.
Was it Bucknell? It might have been Bucknell in 06, but the 2005-2006 season.
I think that was Bradley, I believe, is what I saw. That they lost to Bradley
Hold on,
in the
let me look.
first round.
I'm
It's
looking
either
at
Bradley or
it
Bucknell.
right now.
Yeah, they lost to Bucknell in
All right, so
04-05.
wait, that's not right.
Yeah, they were preseason number 1 in 04-05, and they lost to Bucknell in the first round. That was wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. And then they lost the next year in the first round to Bradley.
Yeah, and I think they were preseason number 1 that year too. I think they were preseason number 1 in 04-05 and 05-06.
Well, they were number 7 in 05 when they came to Mizzou Arena and left with a 72-68
trying to look at their
defeat.
rankings. They were not number 1 in 05-06.
Okay.
Not preseason.
That must have just been the last time they lost in the first round.
Yeah, they were preseason.
What I saw. They didn't even lose to Northern Iowa in the first round. I think that was in either the second round or the Sweet 16.
Oh, was it?
As I recall.
Yeah, so that's what ESPN reported, is that Kansas has
That
lost
was
to
wonderful.
Arkansas the second time, a preseason AP number 1, lost in the first round of the men's NCAA tournament, only done before by Kansas in 2005. So
Ali Farouk Manesh.
Ali Farouk Manesh.
There's your
that was
Kansas,
my guy.
Kansas thing. And then
my hero.
I do have one other thing. There is a football game tomorrow, Saturday, a Hilton Head Sharks football game.
There sure is.
Afternoon against the Carolina Wolves at Hilton Head High School. So that's where they're going to be playing their football games this season, and at least their home games.
Yep, at the Nest.
So they got a game against the Wolves. I want to get out there tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to make it. We'll see. But I'm excited to watch some Hilton Head Sharks. They apparently had a great game last Saturday.
Yeah.
Ended up losing in overtime, but they were down big time in the first half of that game. In the second half, come all back all the way to tie it in the fourth quarter, going to overtime, and ended up losing in overtime. So, but they got a good-looking team, and apparently it's basically a whole new team, 90% overturn.
Yeah, big turnover. Yeah, big turnover. They brought in some new guys. Sounds like they picked up a lot of guys from the Charleston area because a program up there folded.
And they got my boy, Chad Malfris.
Chad Malfris has come out of retirement and entered the offensive line. So Max is the host of the new Hilton Head Sharks Central Coaches Show that we're doing on Sunday evening. So we'll be back Sunday night for a new episode of that with Coach Ronnie Coolbaugh and Sharks founder and player / coach, I guess, Daryl Mitchell. He does it all. He and his brother Ronaldo founded the program and have kept it going over the years. So we're excited to partner with them and be able to produce a coaches show for them. They want to try to kind of take things to the next level and pull out all the stops. So we're happy to help them out and support the local team, the Hilton Head Sharks. And Kevin Libby's a big fan of Hilton Head Sharks Central on the Lowco Media Network. Bite down. That's the tagline they came up with. It's a good one.
I guess on a somber note, Wes mentioned it earlier, is passing of George Foreman, man.
Yeah.
That's shocking. I
mean,
he did a lot of. I mean, he did.
It's not shocking because we're all gonna die. So,
yes, but
and he was pretty old and ate a lot of cheeseburgers off of his
76 years old. He died at 76. But I mean,
that's not that old for someone who got his brains beat in for a living for most of his life, though, and then became a cooking man later in life. Although he was running all the grease off of them burgers because of his brilliant.
That's what the George Foreman grill was.
I wonder what George Foreman's role in the George Foreman grill was. Like, did he have? Was he like, hey, you make grills? I got this idea. Or was
Was
it
he on the
like
commercials back
somebody
in the day?
approached him and said, "Hey, we got this grill, and we think you'd be a great spokesman for it." Like, I would love to know more about
Could
But I
that.
be
feel
that.
like George Foreman
Perhaps,
would be like,
Pablo Torre will find out.
but I think if it's the second situation, George Foreman would be like, "Yeah, I know how to make a great burger." Yeah, you
Yeah,
know, like,
for sure.
Right.
like,
Yeah,
it's something like
no
that.
doubt.
My
My favorite George Foreman fact is that he named all his male sons George.
But I mean, looking
I,
at his career
yeah.
was legendary. I mean,
Oh
oldest
yeah,
heavyweight champion when he won it at, I believe it was age 40. Was it 43? How old was he? It was
he
1994.
Sounds about
45.
yeah,
right.
so
He was 45. Defeated a 26-year-old to win the
yeah,
WBA and IBF heavyweight titles. Oldest man to ever win it in boxing. That's
yep.
Wow.
that's like really impressive. I mean, big George Foreman. That dude was just something else.
Yeah.
12 kids.
One of the legends of that sport for sure. Especially when he
Yeah.
went on those, wrote those amazing scripts. Most notably, back when he knocked out Frazier. That was a big one. For
Down
him.
goes
Yep.
Frazier.
Yep. Yep. He had a couple of storied moments in his career, and those. You just talk about boxing and how that sport may not be as big as it was in the
Nowhere near as
decades
big as it
before, but
was.
man, when those the top formers in that sport were legends. I mean, they were larger than life figures, and George Foreman certainly was one of them. He fit the bill in the era of guys like Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he was an all timer certainly, and
Yep.
as you mentioned, the sport of boxing has the importance of the sport of boxing has really fallen off. Even in my lifetime, I mean, when I was a kid, boxing was still regularly on over the air television. ABC had Wide World Sports boxing presentations. If you had HBO, you got to see all the big fights. Pay-per-view was not a thing, and then it was, and I honestly think it ruined the sport. I think that pay-per-view totally ruined the sport because all of a sudden it costs $40 or $50 to watch the fight, and it just priced so many people out of the market, or just put up barriers to just seeing it. The access was denied, and little by little you started to lose like the TNT fights a couple, one night a week or whatever, and the fights on ESPN, and now it's just gotten where it's really hard to find boxing on television unless you really go looking for it. It's not going to come across your path. And then the rise of MMA, of course, did a number on it. It just so many
Yeah.
people who would be boxing fans or would be boxers are now interested in that instead, and
MMA,
it is what it is.
UFC.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, the UFC has, but it's still it's not the same for me as
Right.
the old boxing matches when Hagler and Leonard would go at it,
Mhm.
or as Libby mentions, Buford legend Joe Frazier meeting his match with George and his fully intact ears. I got to talk with Joe Frazier once about his life and legacy, and talk about fighting George Foreman. He said Foreman punched harder than anybody he ever fought. He said he was the hardest punching sucker he ever fought. And you can believe it. I mean, that man was thick. He was a tank. And the fact that, yeah, sport, you take head blows until your brain bleeds and you can't stand up. The fact that he was still so affable and so vibrant, and such a good salesman, such a good pitch man, is pretty remarkable considering what he did for 40
Yep.
years and 30 years or whatever in the ring, because he fought for a long, long time. What they say his career went from, it went in, he fought well into, yeah, he fought between 67 and 97. A 30-year span. That is
Yep.
unbelievable.
Wow.
Knocked out Frazier for the. Oh yeah, he started in the Summer Olympics. It's always
won a
after a
gold medal.
troubled childhood.
Yeah, gold medal, man.
Yeah,
The
he
gold
won
medal
He
winner
won
in
gold in
And
'68.
Olympic boxing used to be like a must-see event. Like it was much much
Oh,
bigger.
Dude, it was
unreal.
great.
Cassius Clay. It was amazing. But yeah, he won the '68 Olympics. Then he turned pro, won the heavyweight title in '73 when he knocked out Frazier. First defeat for Frazier. Defended it twice and then lost to Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle in '74. He retired in 1977, but then he had a born again experience and became a Christian minister. Made a comeback, and in 1994, at age 45, won the title by knocking out Michael Moorer. He did not face a defense initially, but then he had a singles title defense against Axel Schultz,
Hmm.
and then relinquished his title at age 46. So, pretty incredible run for that man. He's in all the halls of fame for the sport, of course,
Yep.
and then, of course, became well known for the George Foreman grill, which that thing is a great damn grill. I did look it up, by the way.
Was.
He did not come up with it. He was just a pitch man. Jackie Chan, also a pitch man in Asia,
Oh wow.
but brilliant of the inventor of that nifty little grill. If you didn't have one of those
A lot of grease came off
when
that
you were in
thing.
your
My mom and dad
20s, like
had one.
you wouldn't have been able to eat if you didn't have one of those in your 20s. When I was coming up,
Yeah.
that was how we cooked everything. It did get that grease off of there. That grease be
Yeah.
gross,
And
dude. Grease
he's
grosses me out.
easily. I mean, he's easily on the list of the top 25 best boxers ever. I
Top
mean, there's no doubt.
25.
Oh
He's like top 5, right?
yeah.
Well, we
At
put
least
him
Maybe
top
on
10.
it. Well,
Yes,
let's go.
yeah.
Are we gonna go Rushmore? Are we gonna go Rushmore here? Mount
Yeah,
Rushmore?
let's do Rushmore.
I don't know. You got to put Tyson up there in my
Tyson,
mind.
Tyson's
Ali.
definitely
Tyson's
on
got to
that
be
list.
one.
You got to
Yeah.
have. Oh man, see, it gets hard because you got like Joe
Mhm.
Louis, you got Rocky
Mhm.
Marciano, you
I
got.
Mm.
But it's definitely
top
not.
5.
He's way higher than top 25. I would
No.
think.
Top
Yeah,
10.
He's not
I would
probably
have
be-
him top 10.
certainly among top
Easily.
5 among heavyweights for sure. I would
Yeah.
think.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
It gets a little twisted when you get Oscar De La Hoya and
Right. Yeah. There's so
Leonard
many different
and all
eras
those guys
of
in the mix.
boxing, although certainly now is not compared to what it was then. But
No.
George Foreman has to be at least top 10 or so. Probably higher
Yeah, I
than
would
that.
think
Good
so.
top 10.
I would think so. I don't know that I can do I'd have to do some research to do a
Yeah, I'm
Rushmore.
not qualified to.
But off the top of my head, he feels
Yeah.
top 5, top 10,
Yeah.
easy. The Nolan Ryan of head blows. Marciano, the Brooklyn Brawler, Lewis, Frazier, Mayweather, Foreman, Ali. Ali obviously
Yeah. Right.
is up there.
No doubt.
Mayweather, I don't know if
Frazier
I put
versus Foreman that's a tough one.
Mm.
Marciano's
Mayweather, though?
definitely got to be in the mix.
Yep.
Mayweather? Yeah,
I know he's
Mayweather's got it.
undefeated. I know he's undefeated. I know he's a good boxer, but I don't know if I put him.
Oh
on my-
yeah, no, I think he's got to be up there. I think Hagler was my guy growing up. Hagler and Leonard, those were my favorite dudes to watch
Mm.
fight.
I mean, I will say
love
this:
watching those guys
Mayweather
fight.
was the boxer I grew up watching. Like,
Yeah.
Mayweather
Floyd
was the boxer.
Floyd
I grew
Mayweather
up
was
watching. Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao.
I like,
Yep.
Pacquiao.
Pacquiao,
Pacquiao's
yep.
a dog too. Roberto Duran, we haven't mentioned him yet. Him and Sugar Ray
How
had
about
some.
Oh, he's
Man,
still
I'm gonna
boxing.
fall
He's still
asleep
fighting,
watching old fights now. I think.
Canelo Alvarez, Canelo Alvarez
Yeah.
is on that list too. I think in
Yeah, it's
terms of
just
boxers
today's
from the last
fighters just don't
decade.
get to
Yeah, I
fight
just can't.
anyone
I
of
just can't put
quality.
Mayweather in that same conversation as this top guy. I just can't. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
City of
Dun,
Champions.
dun, 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 dun,
It's funny because there's a road I go down every day to go to Burton Wells, and it is Joe Frazier Road.
It sure is. Sure
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
I was there when he got the Order of the Palmetto from the governor at
Yeah.
Waterfront Park. It was a good day.
Cool.
Well, boys, on that note, rest in power, George Foreman, and condolences to George. No, he had 12 children. Condolences to all 5 sons and 7 daughters. The sons are George Jr., George the Third, George the Fourth, George the Fifth, and George the Sixth. They go by George Jr., Monk, Big Wheel, Red, and Little Joey. But I didn't make that up. That's straight off the Wikipedia.
That is
Straight,
great.
straight off Wikipedia. I'm bringing up the proof right here. There you go. I'll highlight the paragraph here.
Oh my God,
12
that's
children,
hilarious.
5 sons
hilarious.
and 7 daughters. His 5 sons are George Jr., George III, aka Monk, George IV, Big Wheel, George V, Red, George VI, Little Joey.
That's so funny.
Man.
So what about them and their kids? What do we have? Like George the 8th through like the 16th at this point? I mean, like his grandkids got to be like George 8 through 16.
I hope they break the cycle, man. You know, you just break the cycle of trauma. Just because your daddy did it to you, don't mean you got to do it to your children. All right. Break the cycle of trauma. Oh, Lord.
Can you imagine being George and your cousin's name
Big
is George?
Can you imagine? Your parents were like, "Hey, we
George,
gave you a name,
take out
but
the trash.
it's gonna be way too confusing to use it, so we're gonna call you Big
Be like,
Wheel."
no, Justin, can you imagine though
George
being like
does dishes.
George,
George,
go say hi to your cousin George, please.
Yeah.
At least he didn't just call him 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 or something
Yeah,
like
no
that.
kidding.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, God.
Oh, boys, it's been fun, but it's gotten off the rails, and I'm very tired and have to be up early tomorrow. So we're gonna call it tonight.
Yeah,
Thanks so much to all of our friends who stopped by, Jeff Riley and Ray Alonzo. Great to talk with them. Marcus Walsh,
Absolutely.
thanks for riding with us for the rest of the way. Always a pleasure. Kevin Libby and the other friends in the comments. We enjoyed it. Thanks to all of our sponsors who support us. We'd love to have more get in touch with us any old way. info@LowcoSports.com if you want to use email. You can find us on the socials and right here on the Loco Media Network. We will be back no later than Sunday night because we have Hilton Head Shark Central coming at you Sunday night at 9 p.m. and we'll check in with Bracken about Sand Shark Rewind as well as on Sunday evening. But we'll take tomorrow off and we'll see you on Sunday. So for Max Araj, Wes Kerr, and Marcus Walsh, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Loco.